Hey folks, Gwei. So earlier this week we talked about this, and I wanted to clean it up a little bit. I didn't think I expressed myself as well as I wanted. Last Sunday, I was on the altar, and we were celebrating communion, and I was tripping all over myself. You know, I don't know if you ever had one of those moments where you're reading from a book, you're trying to project out into the room, and all the words are coming out wrong. Your tongue's not working the way it's supposed to. Your lips aren't working the way they're supposed to. Your mouth, your jaw isn't working the way it's supposed to. And it just feels like everything's going wrong. It's like quicksand in a performance. It's just anyhow. As I was celebrating, I felt, you know what, I felt really bad for my presentation. And then a little while later, I was on YouTube and came across a video where Joe Biden was being, they were beating up on Joe Biden for the way he spoke, and Kamala Harris, you know, she made a mistake in the way she spoke, and then it turns into one of those things where I can't believe they're saying bad things about my person when their person is just as bad. And so then that commentator, they start talking about Donald Trump and his many gaffes, and they're making fun of him. And I've noticed this in the media. I've noticed this in the media, whether it's, you know, CNN or Midas Touch or whoever. We seem to be gravitating towards that place where we're really, well, we're just making fun of each other. We're calling each other names. We're saying nasty things about one another. We're commenting on our body odor. We're commenting on our age, our appearance. That seems to be the play. That seems to be how we're approaching our political discourses. Well, you smell funny, or you smell bad, or you look awful, or you slur your words, or whatever the case might be. And I know that there's a sentiment in at least on the left side, where, you know, if Trump's going to make fun of people, we are going to make fun of him. And if he's going to go low, we're going to go low. Despite Michelle Obama saying, you know, when they go low, we go high. The thought is, if they go low, that's where we're going to meet them. We're going to fight them with the same tools they're using to fight us. Again, as they use derogatory imagery and words to describe us, that's how we're going to do them. If they make fun of us, we're going to make fun of them. If they condemn our look, we're going to make fun of. When they go low, we go high. There's a reason for that. There's a really, really, really good reason for that. You know, you don't want to become the monster you're fighting. You don't want to become the monster you're trying to defeat. I remember when I was a kid, and I couldn't tell you the name of it, but I remember the imagery. When I was a kid, I remember where I was when I watched it at my buddy John's place. And there was this cartoon about a lamb. And one day the lamb's family is attacked by a wolf. And the wolf kills everyone but this lamb. And the lamb decides, well, he's tired of you know, being a sheep and being attacked, and he's tired of that wolf, and he wants revenge. And so he seeks out the wolf and asks the wolf to teach him how to be a wolf. And the wolf, of course, you know, you're a lamb, you're a sheep. I can't teach a sheep to be a wolf. And the lamb says, oh yes, I will be. I'm teachable. I can become a wolf. And so the wolf really raises this lamb into a sheep. And then, you know, spoiler alerts, but the sheep eventually destroys his enemy, kills the wolf, using the tactics, using the strength that the wolf taught him. Now you can look at that and say, oh, he got revenge, victory, but it's not victory, because the sheep, at the end of the day, the sheep lost. The sheep lost himself. He lost his identity. He had to become something he despised. He had to become something he sought to kill to achieve his victory, whatever that happens to be. It's not worth it. In no way, shape, or form is it worth giving up who you are in order to defeat the opposition, in order to vanquish the foe, in order to have your candidate win an election. It's not worth it. I'm often, when I hear people tell me how, well, no, we need to go low because that's what's bringing about success. That's what's bringing about success. That's what we got to do. Again, if they make fun of us, we got to make fun of them. Where do you draw the line? Right? So, okay, I get it. You don't like Trump, and you're not going to vote for him. But really, you shouldn't want to be like him either. And that goes for Biden. You don't like Biden, and you think Biden's done this, and you think Biden's done that, then you can't do that either. If I'm not going to vote for somebody, I'm not going to live my life in a way that is reminiscent of theirs. If I'm not going to vote for them, I'm not going to live my life using their methods and their behaviors and their attitudes as examples by which I will live by. Absolutely not. If they're not worth my vote, they're certainly not worth my identity. But again, to me, it comes down to that, where do you draw the line question? So if we take Trump as an example and Trump makes fun of us, so we're going to make fun of him, fair enough. But in the same breath, we know that Trump is willing to use authoritarian means in order to achieve his goals. Does that mean we should be willing to use authoritarian means to achieve our goals, regardless of how righteous our goals may seem? His side comes up with Project 2025, which would bring about conservative utopia. Does that mean for me to bring about a left-leaning, a progressive utopia, I should be willing to take away people's rights? I should be willing to take away their freedoms. I should be willing to take on dictatorial powers? Where do we draw the line? If I'm saying it's okay to be like him this far, why not a little further? Why not a little further? Why not a little further? Why not take it all the way? I would encourage you. I would encourage us all that during this latest election season, and as the political rhetoric ramps up and starts flooding the airwaves even more than it already is, as we are tempted in our, by our dislike of these other political candidates and by their personalities and by the things they say and by the things they tell us they want to do and by the things that others tell us. Anyway, if you can't do anything else, okay, if you can't do anything else, don't become them. If you aren't willing to give them your vote, for the love of God, don't give them your life. If you're not willing to give them your vote, if you're not willing to follow them as an elected leader, right? To raise them up to be your elected leader, do not follow them as a role model for your life. We need you. No matter what happens, we need you. We don't need another mini them. We don't need any more hatred. We don't need any more vitriol. We don't need anybody else making fun of anybody else. We just need people of love and compassion. We need people who care, and we need people who we need people who are willing to project that light, that unique and beautiful light of theirs out into the world. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that when they go low, you will go high. When they're making fun of people, when they're slandering people, when they're lying about themselves or other people, when they're lying about accomplishments, we will do the exact opposite. As they rely on negativity and darkness and hate to build up their support, I pray you will be instruments of peace and light and joy and love. Don't let them rob the world of who you are by following them. Amen. Nemultus.